Sounds good. Hey, hi, moms, dads, grandparents. Welcome to 2021. It's looking good, you guys. We've got some exciting things to talk about. And I just want to say Happy New Year. And my name is Tiffany Henderson. I'm the owner of Tiffany's Dance Academy. Makes sense, right? If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you, thank you for being here virtually. And we are just so grateful that our kids are back in the studio. If you're still taking virtually, that's great too. We're happy to be able to provide everyone with whatever experience you feel comfortable with at this moment. We know how important this is to these kids. I get the opportunity to be in the studio sometimes when we're doing our temperature check and hand sanitizer, and they come in. Hi, Miss Tiffany. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. And it's just been amazing for us to see how resilient these kids are. But we know how important this is for them to have something that they look forward to every day, or maybe that one time a week they come in. This is their home away from home, and we want to be that for them. So we're grateful for Robbie and the rest of our staff that's helped us get through this year. It's not been easy. And we've been planning some wonderful things for the kids to just keep them dancing and performing. It's not been easy. We are like the only state in the country that does not allow an audience even outside right now. So I did some consulting calls today with studio owners in Massachusetts and other places, and they all are headed towards, they could have an audience if they go outside. And sadly, we've not been able to do that yet. But that's not going to stop us. We are going to move forward with a performance experience for these kids because they need it. If we didn't give them a goal, they might decide, I don't want to dance right now. They work on those. This is what we're going to talk about tonight, why it's important. Classes are super important. That's wonderful. Getting on stage is that thing they're working towards. We all love to see it as parents, and it's wonderful, but really, we all know that whatever we thought was like, oh, I love when my kid does this and we get to go watch it. This year, it's really been what makes my kid smile, what gives them joy in the process of this heaviness that we're going through. So Robbie and I put our heads together and we talked about what we could do for these kids this year, because it just looks a lot different. So welcome everybody. And I think, are we ready to sort of start in on the slides? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Let me share my screen here. Give me 1 second. And I'm gonna go here and gonna minimize this and go present.
We're getting pretty good at the Zoom thing, everyone.
All right, Tiffany, it's all.
Okay, here we go. Tonight I want to talk about the performance series, because there are 2 performances that your child will be can participate in, and that's very, very different from what we've normally done in our traditional years, because this is a different year. So the thing I wrote on that first page was time is marching on, capture the moment. Both Robbie and I have seniors in high school this year, and boy, do we know that. Don't even get me started, because and they're our last child. So we're empty nesters after this year. And it's been really tough because, we could do this thing where we're like, we'll just wait for next year. Well, we don't get a next year, and you don't get another year for your child to be 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever. So it's important for us to continue to do what we can to just capture these moments that are so special. Okay. All right, so here I'm just going to go through. We're going to talk about Spring Fling. Isn't that fun? We're going to talk about Storybook, and we're also going to talk about Mamma Mia. I'm so excited. We love doing our themed performances. We started doing them, I think, maybe about 8 years ago now. I don't know. Time is really kind of going past. And it's been really fun because I think the kids get into the storyline and they play a character. And it just gives that end of the year performance something extra special. Okay, so this year we're giving the kids more than one chance to dance. All right, and the way, and I'm just, before I go through the notes, in California we can't gather with anybody other than our family, even outside a coffee shop for very long. So right now it's difficult for us to say we can have our May 31st, June 1 performance because we know the longer we wait, the better things are going to look. So we're having to push things back so that we can possibly give them a real experience with an audience, whether it's outside or inside. I want there to be people there. That's our goal. But when we push things to the end of July and we start working on dances, and we're really fun. I mean, my teachers are amazing. Don't get me wrong. But kids will be like, this has been a long time to either do the same dance or stay in something that they didn't get to that place where they worked up to the goal and they were done, go to the next thing, which is what leads us to a 2 performance series. One performance will look different than the other. Okay. So dancers will work hard January. They've already started learning their dances last week. Our teachers are ready to go. They've got their choreography through March. And they're going to learn dancers that they will perform in Spring Fling or Storybook. So depending on what age your dancer is, what level they're in, we've created a great experience for them, for their age group, and what they need to do. And this is going to be an in-studio filming. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. That's not with an audience because I know that we're not going to have an audience by March. I wish we could, but I know that that's not going to be possible. But that is going to be a time for them to show off what they're learning. Then when we're done with that, from March through end of July, they're going to learn a brand new dance for either Showtime, which is our Twinkles, or Mamma Mia. That gives them over 4 months to do that. And that's well enough time. Because one of the things that concerned me by doing 2 was, will there be enough time to make it good? And yes, there will, because we have extra time. And then they're going to be like, I'm done with this. What's next? So instead of them coming home and saying, oh, you know what, like, okay, this has been going for a while, you want them to keep coming back to dance. These are people that care. You know, it's a safe environment, very, very safe. And we want to keep your kids engaged. That's really important to us. And your young star will love showing off what they've learned in class on both of these. So now we're going to go a little bit more into depth. Oh, benefits first. We'll do that. Okay. And I've said this. This will be our 21st year of owning the dance studio. And one of the things that I've had to explain to parents, because if you weren't in the performing arts, you don't quite understand. Okay, take the class. What's the big deal about a recital? Well, dance is a performance art. It would be like going to soccer practice and never playing the game. And it's unlike anything else. And for the kids, that experience means something different every time. They get on stage when they're younger. They may not remember that so much. You'll remember it more when they're young. And as they get older, you know what they remember? I'll ask the kids, they remember the backstage with their friends. They remember being nervous, but then overcoming that. They'll remember maybe their family there giving them, yay, great job. But that live performance, that thing that just happens one time, is really super important. And that's what dance is. So that's what we do. We train and we create something, and then we get on stage and it's a beautiful thing. So dance is performance art, and they're important for the goal to work towards it. It really, really is important. If we take that away, you'll see more kids saying, I'll do something else. And before I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but you don't want them isolated in their rooms on their phones. You do not. And that's a whole other conversation. But in my vantage point now, with 2 grown kids, during being the first kids that got phones, I will tell you that whatever you can do to have them not looking at a screen after their distance learning or whatever, that's what you want to do. So we want them to want to stay in. Also, normalcy, right? Everything's changed for them. So we want to make sure, like, okay, we're coming in. Remember, we're doing this performance, whether it's in the studio or it's outside, we're going to do it. We're going to overcome this time of our lives. I think that's an important lesson. And then we're going to celebrate their achievement and watch them be a part of our performance series. Okay, for the families, because let's be honest, your kids' activities are a big part of your family. right? So whatever they're doing, that's what we do on the weekends, and that's what we go. And it's a big part of in your family's fabric. And when that's gone, it's like, oh, no recital, no soccer game. That's really sad. So we want to give you an opportunity, however we can do it, to make a memory of your kid at that age. It's safe. When we talk about our in-studio filmings, we did them at the holidays, you guys, during a time right before we all got shut down again. Can I just say something? Not one problem. Not one person emailed us out of probably 700 kids in all different locations coming together. Not one issue. And I would be very honest about that because it matters to me. So I know now this is very safe. We do small group when we do the in-studio filmings, or small group, they wear masks, and then we'll have a YouTube premiere, which is really fun. We also have a virtual experience. I know somebody, I don't want virtual. No, nobody does, but it's a part of what we're doing too for Spring Fling. Okay. So for Spring Fling, they also can dance from home. What I love about that is I see grandma and grandpas and aunts and uncles come in, and they get to watch it just there right on the screen, and it's up close and personal, and it's just another option for them. And then in July, there's going to be a performance with an audience. I'm hoping, I'm really hoping, outdoor or indoor, limited access indoor. Okay, so that's where we're headed. We're headed for an audience, applause, people there cheering the kids on. The virtual part of this, which is Spring Fling, is the same thing we did for Holiday Magic. So if you did that, you understand it's the exact same thing. They come in, they have to wear masks. There'll be a part of their costume. We'll have something that will complement what they're wearing. We film them. We premiere it on YouTube. You can have the video, you get the pictures, and then they have a virtual experience that is on a different day with the same dance. There's no limit to obviously the virtual performance or the YouTube premiere. Make sense? When we get to the real deal, whether it's outside or inside, we'll let you guys know what that means. How many people can come and what that looks like. But those are things that we'll find out as we get a little further along. Okay, so if you have a Twinkle Star dancer, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, they will be involved in Showtime, which is the normal show that we normally do, which will be in end of July, and Spring Fling. Now, and I think we'll get to this later, but just so you guys know, if for some reason, you don't want to do one of these, you don't have to, but it is a package deal. So we'll talk about what's included in all that in a minute. Okay, so here it is. Wow, Robbie, you knew. Okay, so let's talk about for Twinkle Baby and Twinkle Star. So 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. If your child's not that age, you can just tune me out for a minute. There's a participation fee of $99, and that includes these things, okay? The 2 performances, but mostly the costume accessory specific to your dance. So let's just say your child is in Over the Rainbow. I already know that we're sourcing different tiaras that are colors of the rainbow. All right. They're going to wear their dress code, what they normally wear. So if you don't have dress code, you do have to get that, right? So you have to make sure you're matching. So if you're in your pink sparkle dress, you have to have your pink sparkle dress on. And then we will provide something that you'll get to keep, something that they were going to put on themselves, whether it's bumblebee headband or a flower headband, whatever goes with their dance. Then they have their in-studio filming day, either March 6th or 7th, and that'll come out later. You get all your photos and videos as included, the virtual performance, and then also the streaming show via YouTube. So we'll send you that date. It usually takes us a few weeks to edit that video and get it all uploaded and ready to go. We'll let you know. At the same time, you also, for Showtime, which will be in July. Remember, the real recital, the normal one, that's what I'm talking about. So it includes your costume for that. The normal costume that we always wore. We're just not wearing them for Spring Fling. We're going to save those for the audience show. Okay. And we're going to be announcing those, the costumes. You'll be able to see what they look like in a little bit. The opportunity to participate in the in-person performance, July 30th through August 1. Remember, these are all kind of target dates. We're giving you like a save the date weekend. And then as we look at what the restrictions are and all that, we'll be sending out a more permanent date or concrete date. And then of course, at that show, you also get downloads of photos and videos. All right, so basically it's 2 shows. They already have their dress code. If they don't have it, you do have to get it to be in the filming because we want everyone to look the same. We're going to give you a cute little accessory and a prop sometimes to wear to make the spring show fun. Then we also includes the costume for what you would do for the summer. Now I have to say, in a normal time, if you're a Twinkle parent, the costume that we would charge anywhere between $55, $60 to $75 just for the costume for the show, right? So we wanted to make this nice value added, a nice value for everybody. So it does include the costume, you guys. So that's all included plus the 2 performances. Okay. The only additional cost would be tickets for July, or once we establish where we're going. If we do outdoor, it may be a family pod, and we say, all right, here's a family pod, and you choose when you come, and we give you a blanket and a picnic basket, and you can sit down. We have a lot of ideas on that, but there will be an additional cost that you'll find out about for actually attending the performance, because when we have to rent venues, that's the cost that we need to make up. Oh, and I have to say, if you have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat bar, and then Robbie will feed those to me later in the conversation. Okay. All right. So if you have a dancer who is a mini dancer, 5 and up, mini jazz, mini ballet, lyrical, hip hop 6 to 9, junior level and up, they will be doing Spring Fling, same thing we just talked about. Plus their show will be Mamma Mia. So very similar to when we do La La Land, Cinderella, whatever. Okay. So just know that it's the same thing, but then they also have a Spring Fling experience. Okay. So this is the participation fee. The mini dancers are $99 and the junior levels are $119. The reason being is that as you get older, the costumes are more expensive. That's the truth. So there's a little extra cost in a junior dancer versus a mini, okay? It's all the same that I just talked about as the Twinkles. This includes a costume accessory for their spring dance, the in-studio filming, the photos, the video, the virtual performance, the streaming show via YouTube. You can, maybe you have your family pod come over and you all watch it together. For Mamma Mia, that includes their costume for Mamma Mia. And also the opportunity to perform and the photos and video of that. Only additional cost is if we're in a theater, those are tickets, or if we're outdoor, it's a family area, whatever it is that we have discovered and put forth. So it's pretty much the same thing, just a different theme for the show to know. Okay, now if you are is it basic? If you're a basic ballet dancer and up.
Yes.
Company dancers. So we're really looking at 8+, but basic ballet is a little bit more advanced at the junior level. And then all the way up, they will be doing Storybook, which is our spring in studio filming, and Mamma Mia for the summer show or the July show. So for them, the participation fee is $119 for basic and ballet 1 and $139 for the 2, 3, 4s. Sadly, as your child gets older, the costumes are more expensive. So that's what happens there as well. And also they're more elaborate and there's just more to them. Same thing for you guys, but it's in a reverse. So what we're going to do, depending on what you're doing for spring, this is basic ballet. Okay, we're good. For Storybook, the costume that you're going to get with the participation fee, you will wear for Storybook and for Mamma Mia. Because for Storybook, we're doing different princesses, like Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. So we need them in not just their dress code. So those costumes will be worn twice. You're welcome. Okay. So a costume specific to your dance, in studio filming March 5th, 7th, or 12th, 14th. You have to give us a little bit of like flexibility here. We're trying to do this quick, and get it on to the kids. So we'll let you know exactly what days you're filming, photos and video, and then we'll stream the show. And then Mamma Mia, same thing. They're going to use the same costume for their ballet dances. And then, of course, they perform photos and videos. The only additional cost, as I said earlier, would be whatever tickets and family participation fee, whatever. But wait, there's more. Okay. So we still will have picture day. I'm sure that it will probably be individual again. These things we just don't know. We're all headed into the unknown. We don't really know, but we'll let you know. But those will be, and those are additional costs. That's a separate company that comes in, and you can participate if you want to. We pre-order for T-shirts and trophies and things like that. You can add on.
Sorry, that should say June for July, not July for June. I do know what month comes first most days. Sorry about that.
Okay. I didn't even notice. No problem. And a commemorative gift. All right. And it'll be a good gift. We'll get something fun for the kids this year because they have been through quite a year. How to be involved. Okay. So you have to be enrolled, and you got to be enrolled through July. So you can't say, well, you know what, actually, we're going to be like finally traveling June, July to Greece. But so we'll just stop and then we'll come back. You can't do that because the kids need to be in class. Now, can I just say something? We don't normally do our recital in July. It's not really what I want, but it's what I want is for an audience to be there for the kids. They deserve that. They need that. The longer we wait, the better it's going to be for everybody. So if you're taking a vacation, take your vacation. Take your vacation. It's okay. Go for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. We're going to start on these dances mid-March, and we'll go all the way through the end. And they can zoom in from wherever they are. That's the beauty of what's happened this year. If you're in Hawaii, God bless you, then you can just, turn on the meeting and then they can learn their dance. So don't think that, and also you guys, we understand that the kids, that this is not a normal year too. So we have ways as teachers to give the choreography out in a good way, and then also make it so they're going to look great on stage, knowing that it's possible that they're going to miss a little bit in June and July. When? Okay, so the in-studio filming, I want to make sure you understand. The in-studio filming is just like Holiday Magic. They come into the studio, they film their dance. We get cute little backdrops. We transform the studios. And that's going to be March 6th in Livermore, March 7th in San Francisco for your spring fling. Storybook, March 5th, 7th, March 12th, 14th. That's a little bit more of a loose date right now. We have to see how things go. Okay. The virtual spring fling is the 4th. Oh,
sorry. That should say March 14th. March 14th.
March 14th. And then Showtime and Mamma Mia in person, guys. We're shooting for July 30th through August 2nd. Okay. So that's one of those dates. I could not tell you right now which date that is. I wish I had the crystal ball. I've been looking for it all year, but I don't know yet. But as we get it, we'll tell you, because in 21 years, we have never been January 19th and not been able to tell people exactly what date they're performing. So we will do our best as soon as we find out when we can and what date that's going to be and all that good stuff. We will let you guys know. Okay. But let me say one more thing. So we've gotten some but I don't want to do virtual, and that's okay. If you don't want to come to the virtual performance, that's okay. Just, you don't have to come. If you don't want to come to in-studio filming, you don't have to come. If you want to do the in-studio and not the summer show, you don't have to do that either. They're going to learn these dances regardless. But so it's kind of one of those things where, we'll at some point we'll say, are you coming to Mamma Mia or Showtime? We'll need to know that, because we are going to do staging. So our live performance with an audience will have staging in it like a normal thing. That's our hope and our goal. So at some point, you'll have to let us know what that will be. But moving into the filming and all of that, if you feel like it's just not, we don't want to do that, you don't have to. But know that you can't just pick and choose, because the way that we've structured this, it includes everything for everyone. So there's really no way to do that. Okay. And we feel like it's a good value. So know that when you sign up, you're signing up for the whole thing. But if for some reason you choose one thing or the other, just let us know. And that's okay as well. Okay. We are still doing daddy daughter dance this year. And are we enrolling today, or are we, have we enrolled today?
We will begin enrolling on February 1st.
Perfect. Okay. So the neat thing about daddy daughter that I've found through this last year is that learning it virtually was actually quite efficient. Dads and daughters don't, they're processed together in their house. And I know it's not the same as coming into the studio. However, it's very noisy. I've been the teacher of daddy daughter for 21 years. I started it a long time ago. I was probably one of the first people that ever started doing this. And you can imagine most of the dads are much taller than me. And then we got little girls, and it's adorable, but it's really loud. So it's hard to get out the information. And sometimes the dad's leaving, go, what did we just do? So I feel like it's actually a better way to learn it virtually. I never thought I'd say this, but we will eventually bring them into the studio when we feel we can have everybody in there, when it's safe. Okay. So we will still have this. It's a great opportunity. It lasts a lifetime. I think the dads that did it for Holiday Magic, it was amazing. And by the way, I think it's that one thing you can do right now. It's like, oh, it's rehearsal time. Don't have to get in the car. You just come into your living room and find a great place. So February 1 is when it'll come out, and we'll be happy to have you as a part of that. Ages 3 and up.
And just to point out that this is just for the July show. We're not doing daddy daughter in March. This is going to be for July.
Yes. Some things to keep in mind. Okay. So these are like the housekeeping things. I'll just read through them. Your participation fee, depending on what class you're in. If your child is in a few classes and you're kind of like, I only want one of the three, or I want all three, you can't remember, you can decide, what you want that to be. But it's going to be charged through your TDA tuition account. So you don't have to do anything on this Friday. So unless you tell us not to do something, that will get charged. Okay. If you do not want to participate, and that's okay. If you decide, I don't know for sure, no problem. You just have to complete our opt-out form prior to the 21st to avoid your account being charged. Okay. Here's a question we'll get. Can I opt back in later? You certainly can. However, we're going to order costumes fairly soon. So, it's just one of those things where if you decide later, we will always look and see if we can get you a costume. All right. So if you're on the fence, especially if you have a younger dancer and you're like, I don't know if they're going to like this, that's fine. You can wait and then we can do it later. But know that it's much, 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 much better to get in on that first costume order, because things do sell out. And this is a strange year for these costume companies. I don't think that they ordered a ton of inventory. That's what I think. So I think what's going to happen is the people that get in early are going to get everything we need. And I don't want you to get to May and go, we want to do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't get a costume for you because they didn't reorder. So there's that. Since we moved our end of the season performance to July, you have to be enrolled through July. So you can't say, well, we're just going to pause for June. We need you in class in June. We need you in class in July. We do have opportunities for you to take class from wherever you are in the world. So our teachers work both ways right now. They're working hard. They have the screen and they've got kids. So we're able to accommodate you no matter what happens, and to be able to participate. When you opt out, you are choosing to do so for both the March and July. If you choose to do only one, the cost is still the same. So if you say, but we don't want to do March, can I just, no, it's a one-stop shop. It's the same price that pretty much we charge for just doing the one thing in holiday, but we figured, we really just want to give the kids something midterm. So the spring performance we feel is kind of an extra on our end. We just really want them to get through that and then get to the recital. And we just can't wait to see everyone performing. It truly, I mean, I think this recital, whatever it's going to look like, it's going to be probably our most favorite because I just can't wait to see people and kids on the stage and applause and live stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so Robbie, you might have gotten some questions. And if you did, you want to shoot them my way or you can answer them.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me open up the chat here. We have a couple of questions here. The first one I answered, but I think is a good one to ask. We have a mom asking if we're going to share the videos through Twinkle Star like we've done in the past, so that the dancers can practice at home.
And yes, we are. And we're happy to be able to do that, but we will wait just a tad. So this is the thing. I'm the one that goes through all the videos. Sometimes it's me that's choreographed it. Sometimes it's somebody else. And I say, I think this is great for this grouping of kids. And then they start on it. And then we have a weekly teacher meeting and they say, this one part's really hard. We need to, or this is too easy. So in that case, we wait for a second to make sure that what we send you is exactly what your child is learning. But yes, you will be getting a video. Now, when we get to a little bit of the higher end, a lot of times that's new choreography the teachers are doing, so it's not on video. But we're talking about twinkles through like the junior levels, that the choreography is on a video, and we're so grateful and happy to be able to share that with you on demand so that your kid can, or your dancer can practice at home.
Awesome. Okay. Next question is specifically coming from a parent whose dancer is in Dancely, and they want to know if they have a 5 to 10-year-old Dancely dancer, so one who's a little older, then their July show would be Mamma Mia.
That's correct. Yes. So the July show, oh, hello, Dancely families. I love you. And I loved creating Dancely because I knew that virtual classes sometimes are just not good enough for the young guys. But so basically you'll learn it's shake a tail feather. I already know that because created the dance, and they'll start learning it now. And then for the spring, for spring, you'll either come in or you'll do virtual. For Mamma Mia, what we will do is start teaching you the dance. Yes, that's a good question. Start teaching you the dance, but probably at some point you'll have to come to the studio come June or July to be in Mamma Mia. So say, and hopefully by then you'll feel more comfortable. So by that time, we'll say, okay, great, you've learned the dance. And now we need to really enroll you, put you in this Monday class at 5:00 because there will be staging. So that's the only difference there. And then the in-studio or the in-person performance will be in person with an audience. So there's no virtual component, although there may be a streaming component possibly for people that are just not ready to come just yet. I hope that answered that question.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. Here's an interesting question, and I don't know if we have an absolute answer on this yet. Depending on crowd capacity restrictions in the July show, is it possible we will be expected to buy multiple tickets for multiple show times if our child is in multiple dances?
Well, first of all, you don't ever have to come multiple times. If your child's in multiple shows, just like if you're a company parent and your child is like in 5 shows, we never made it mandatory that you came to each one. If you wanted to come, like say mom wants to sit down, then, or wherever you are, then yeah, you buy yourself a ticket. But we would never say to you, you have to buy, you need you and your husband to be in the audience every time your child is dancing, if that makes any sense. If you are a non-company dancer and you are in one class, you will not be in 2 shows. You will be in 1 show. If you are a non-company dancer in 2 classes, you might be in one show and another show, but that's the worst case scenario. We try to keep everybody together. Do you
And
want to clarify that? Because I don't know if I answered that the right way.
yeah, and this particular parent does happen to be a company parent. So we will do very much like we've done for recitals before. The issue where you might end up in more than one show is if your dancer takes classes at more than one location. That's the bigger issue. Our goal will be to very much do like we have done with our big shows in the past and have a Fremont show and a South City show and a Pleasanton show and a Livermore show, or depending upon enrollment levels in that, we might have a Fremont South City show. But if your dancer takes all of their classes in one location and you don't have your dancer in, some people do this, a Twinkle 4-5 and a mini jazz, that's going to be in 2 different shows. If you've got a dancer who's kind of 5 and kind of bridging that sort of bridge and is in a twinkle class and a mini class, then you're probably going to be in 2 shows. But if your dancer is in all mini and up level classes at one studio location, they will 99.9% certain all be in the same show. The issue comes for our company dancers who maybe take, especially out here in the East Bay, if they take like their tap class in Pleasanton, but they take all the rest of their classes at Livermore, then yes, there is the possibility that that tap class might be in a different show. And Erin, I can see you. Does that answer your question? Just kind of nod, or if not, you can type another question. Okay. Type another one. Good job. Okay.
Those are good questions. And I think also, just so you know, outdoor performance is possible to allow more people at one time. So, if we're looking at outdoor performance, either it's outdoor Chabot, outdoor Bankhead, outdoor somewhere else, that could look very different. We could have more kids kind of cycling through. So we really do ask for your trust and patience in this because, like I said, I mean, we're usually like, I think we pride ourselves in being organized and give you guys the information. And it's hard for us to not have it. But again, we are, as far as like having to be there, there's not, tickets and all that good stuff. All that information will come out. Yes, you've committed to the show. So there's that. But we will do our best to make it the best situation for all the families.
Okay, awesome. All right, the next question is specific to performing company. So our performing company dancers do take multiple classes, absolutely. Any class that's a rehearsal class, so a class where they're learning a competition dance and it says rehearsal, they're going to do that dance hopefully in Mamma Mia. So they won't have a separate charge for this. You've already paid your costume deposit for that. That's a separate thing. So it's technique classes. Similarly, if they are in, for instance, this parent is in Fremont, the ballet class, they take 2 ballet classes a week. Those 2 classes are doing one dance together. So you don't have your rehearsal and you don't have ballet twice. So they may be in 6 or 7 classes, but you're not paying the fee for each one. I don't want to get into specifics. If this particular mom wants to email me, I'm happy to go through and show exactly which ones. You also received emails separately for each class. So that okay, so this is my jazz class dance, this is my ballet, this is my tap, this is my hip hop, so that you can see all of those.
And can I just add, and for performing company parents, last year, if you were enrolled in opening number or the tap production, remember you paid for those costumes that we never used, right? So what we said to you is that's okay, just whatever. I don't think you kept them. I think whatever, but you don't have to pay for that again. Those are going to be coming your way. So for most company dancers, they have a ballet. This is what story time is. It's possible at the younger end, they'll have a mini jazz or whatever, and that gives them more dances. So we're trying to make it, cost efficient or whatever, and make sure that we're not doing a million things.
Okay, perfect. This is a good question. Again, one I don't know that we're going to have an absolute answer to yet.
Okay.
Are kids going to be allowed to wear masks during the Mamma Mia show in July?
Well, probably. If that's something that you feel like you want your child to be wearing, given the information and the climate at the time, I don't think we could say no to that. I certainly, and I don't know if indoors, if they're going to still, it all depends on a lot of things. So it's possible indoors that our Chabot might say everyone needs to be masked. Now, Chabot, I will just tell you that their first phase is kids are in masks until they go on stage. They take them off, they put them on their costume, they dance, they put them back on, and they leave because it's so giant in there. And they have all this like ventilation that they like figured out that they feel like it's safe that way. But in that case, if that's what we're telling them to do and your child, you don't want your child to do that, then they may keep their mask on. But again, those are a lot of things that we're going to sort of find out as we get closer to that time.
Okay, sorry, I was responding to a direct question. Okay, and I did that. Oh, how much is it for daddy-daughter dance?
I don't know, Robbie, how much is it?
I got 99. I know
Nine.
that's what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that'll be coming out. So it'll be very similar to what it's been in the past. And yes, so that'll be probably coming very soon to you. So around 99, it vacillates between that price point.
All right. Oh, she said she miscounted. Will company dances be performing their dance in either of these shows? Yes, our goal is that the company dancers will perform their company dances in Mamma Mia.
Yes. And it could be, all this depends on how many people they can say can be in the audience and how many dancers can be in the theater. So this is where, and then we'll look at it, the outdoor. So Chabot has a way to do it out, that front area where we sell the hot dogs and all that out there. They have a way to make an outdoor performance out there, and the grass would be the audience. It's incredible. They'll move everything out, all the lighting and everything. And so once we know more, then we'll know, but that's our goal. Our goal is everybody who's learned to dance is going to perform it. Okay. So whatever they've learned, and then you'll know more about exactly how that's all going to fit in. But we will do our very, very best, a very level best, to have your child's dances in one show so that the parents and the families can come watch that.
All right, perfect. Okay, what are the average ticket prices?
No,
We just don't know because we don't know if we're selling family pods or if we're selling tickets. We really just don't
I
have
think go
answers
back
to
to
that.
what they were before. Okay. So this is the deal. And if I just, I'm going to be straightforward, well, Chabot specifically, not cheap. So what happens now to studio owners is that they say, in order to do this, you can only have this many people at one time. So it's going to take you 3 times the time to get all these kids on stage, but they don't have a discount. So that is going to factor in, but we know what we're not going to gouge you. We're going to do what we think is fair and also cover our costs to get the kids on stage. But we'll make sure there's always a way for you and your immediate family to come for a reasonable price that we've always charged, if that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. I have a parent asking, sorry that they missed the beginning. Their daughter is in one jazz class in Pleasanton. How would that work? If they're in a jazz class, they're going to have, what you want to do actually, if you go to the landing page that's in the email and click on minis and juniors, you'll be able to see that. But they'll have a dance in our spring fling and they'll have a dance in Mamma Mia. And you don't have to take another class. She'll be learning all of these things in the class that she's already in. Okay. Okay, so the additional question we were talking with about dancers in multiple shows, and it's a reasonable question. The intention, she understands that the intention is to keep it the same. She's just concerned about restrictions on crowd numbers and having to pay a ton of money to attend multiple shows because of that. And I understand that. So if we see that that's the limitation, that we will try to group together dances if we have to end up doing 2 Fremont shows, right? Because we can only have a certain number of dancers on stage or a certain number of people in the audience. We will do our best to make sure as best we can. Now, again, if you're in 1 class or 2 class, this is easy. If you're in 5 classes because you're in company, not so easy. But we will do our level best to make sure that a dancer has all of their classes in 1 show. That's always going to be what we're going to strive to do.
Right. The good news about Chabot is it's so big. 1,400, it seats 1,400 people. So if they've got to be 6 feet apart and family pods, they've got a ticketing system apparently that does a thing where it's like, okay, you and your family can be here, but it's not like everybody has to be 6 feet apart. So the capacity could be different. But remember, it's all an unknown. But like as Robbie said, we know what everyone wants. So we will try to give you as close to what you want and what we all want to see as we can, to the best of our ability.
Sorry, just replying to a quick question there. So the question is, where will the Twinkle Stars perform their Showtime performance?
Well, we have a lot of venues that we're working with. This last year, we were going to be at Dublin High School, their performing arts theater. And that is our goal for the Twinkles. If you are Livermore, Pleasanton, San Ramon, Danville. But if you are Fremont or South San Francisco, you normally went to Chabot. So that's our goal. That's our goal, that they be indoors. Now they could end up being outdoors. If you are Tri-Valley, you might be outdoors in front of the bankhead. In little family pods on a cute blanket with a picnic basket that we give you, and you all have numbers and you sit in your area. So it just depends on a lot of factors, but it will be in your area, your local area, very similar. That's our goal to what we've done before. Livermore High School is still an option, but we were hoping to do Dublin High School because that's more of an updated theater and a little more centrally located for everybody. But that's the information that will be coming now.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Parent is asking Spring Fling and Spring Fling and Storybook would both be taught in the same class, or would she just do one? So they'll be taught in the same, we'll do Spring Fling from now through March, and then they'll perform their Spring Fling dance. And then when that's done, from March till July, they'll learn their dance for the July performance.
The majority of the classes at the higher end, some of them have a Friday or Saturday rehearsal to do Storybook. That's the only difference. So, but in a general class, if it's Monday at 5 o'clock, they'll learn their dance from now till spring, and they'll either do Spring Fling or Storybook. And then when that's over, they start something new in that same class, and it takes them through Mamma Mia or whatever we're doing in July.
Okay. All right. We have another parent who said they weren't here last year, so we don't know what the average price range was for tickets. So what we've done traditionally is had a minimum amount of tickets, which basically worked out to, for our Twinkles, 4 tickets. It was about the average cost of 4 tickets. For our older dancers, depending upon where you sat in the theater, it was about two of the most expensive tickets, but it was $69. We asked everybody to purchase at least $69 worth of tickets.
So some studios charge a recital fee, and then they give you so many tickets. We just say, hit that threshold, and then you can buy as many as you want, but you have to hit the threshold. So what she's saying is there are different tiers of seating. Now you can use that kind of as a gauge. Okay. Maybe it's my minimum purchase is $69. Um, in order for my child to be a part of the theater and remember the crew, it's actually really expensive to do these shows. But know that all those rules could be thrown out because we could be outdoors. And outdoors could mean there's a family pod that is $69 and you can bring 6 people. Who knows? I have to just see kind of what that looks like. So, but again, we 21 years, we know what's reasonable and fair for families, and we will do our very, very best to stay what's reasonable and fair. So you're gonna be like, I signed up for this thing and now it's $1,000 to come see my kid. No, we're not going to do that to you because we know that that's not okay. So we're going to do the best we can to keep it similar, but know that it is kind of a fluid experience in the moment.
All right, perfect. Okay, sorry, I answered that. Is there a date for the virtual spring fling? Yes, the virtual will be Sunday, March 14th. That's the day we'll do the virtual where you dance from home and you get to dance without your mask on, and grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles and friends all over the world from all over the place. One of her favorite things to do is to see where people are watching from. Water park, gotta tell you, that's still the top of my list. And it was 3 families, like one big family on 3 different Zooms at the same water park. It was really awesome. So they're all like dripping and in their swimsuits and in front of their phones and iPads watching whatever family member it was. She had a lot of family at the water park that day. But that's still my favorite. So is watching from the water park. So that's for that. Yes. Um, uh, Betty, that question you're asking, if you could email me that, sorry, I just want to make sure I answer it correctly. It's very specific to your dancer and to performing company dancer. So just email me, Robbie at Tiffany Dance, and I'll answer that one for you. Okay. Maureen King, I'm so sorry you're still confused. I apologize. So she's saying, will they do, it is possible that your dancer could be doing all 3, Spring Fling, Storybook, and Mamma Mia. Because in March, let's say they have a basic ballet class, which is going to do Storybook, right? And then they have a beginning jazz class that's going to do Spring Fling. So
Yeah.
yes, it is entirely possible that they're going to do Spring Fling, Storybook, and Mamma Mia. Just like in the winter, you might have been in a ballet 1 class that did Nutcracker, but also a beginning jazz class that did Dancing Holiday Magic, right? So yes, it is entirely possible. And that's why you would have received emails that say specifically, this is the dance this class is doing, this is how much the charge is, this is the dance this class is doing. But yeah, so it is very possible that some of our dancers could be doing Spring Fling and Storybook, just like some did Dancing Holiday Magic and Nutcracker in December. And then in July, they'll be doing Mamma Mia.
And there's no extra cost, by the way. There's for the, like if they're in that, the extra the participation fee, but there's no, for the Spring Fling ones, there's no tickets or anything like that. So there's no extra of that. It's just the costume. So they're in that for whichever show that they're in for summer.
All right. Brooke wants to know if we will be automatically charging daddy daughter.
No. That's something you have to decide on. And that's not an opt-out, that's an opt-in. And we'll send that out and we'll get started on that.
Exactly. We'll send out the link and you'll be able to just go in and sign up for it like you would for any class.
Yeah.
Okay, Storybook date and Mamma Mia date. Okay, we don't, so the dates for Storybook, we're gonna film the first 2 weekends in March. Once we see how well the dances are progressing, we'll be able to get more specific with that. And then we will be airing it on YouTube we'll be airing that towards the end of March, and we'll send that date out once we get into the editing, and we know how long that's going to take for us. And then Mamma Mia, that is going to be our hope is the weekend of July 30th to August 1st. So to the 30th, 31st, August 1st. Okay. So Spring Fling is not the same dance numbers as Storybook. Correct, because the Spring Fling is our jazz and hip hop and tap and those dances. Storybook is just the ballet. So Storybook is just our basic ballet, ballet 1, ballet 2, ballet 3, 4, 5. So it's just the ballet, just like we did in the winter where we had Dancing Holiday Magic and then we had Nutcracker. Oh, thank you for the thank you. We appreciate it. And that's about it. I just have one. I have one mom asking me questions that's got a very, very specific situation that is not going to impact anybody else. So I'm going to type a little answer there, and then Tiffany, I'll let you kind of wrap us up.
Okay, great. Thank you guys for being here. You think of any other questions, shoot them our way. Robbie's a genius at all of the information and all that. I'm the creative person that says, yay, let's have fun. Let's do these dances. And I'm, like I said earlier, we're just so, we're just so grateful to see our kids back in the studio. We're also so grateful that what we've put in place since early June, dancing in mass, all of our ventilation, for those of you who are coming in person, has resulted in 0 problems. And I'm like, you know, again, this is my first pandemic. So as a studio owner, and we we didn't have any historical information to tell us what to do, but we knew it was important to get these kids back in dancing. So thank you for trusting us. I think we're hopefully almost past the worst of this. My heart goes out to you if your families are struggling or if you've known people that have been impacted by this. We all have been in some way, shape, or form, but I think brighter days are ahead. And this is wonderful for your kids to look forward to something great. And we're happy to be here to do that for them. So Annie, hello, Angelina and Giovanni. Hello, guys.
All right, we had one more question pop up. A family that's moved from Fremont to Pleasanton. Do you need to do anything on your end? You know what? Again, why don't you email me, Robbie at tiffanydance.com. You shouldn't need to, as long as you're enrolled in your new class in Pleasanton, that should be fine. But just shoot me an email, or you can email info at tiffanydance.com. That comes to us as well. Thank you. As always, thank you so much for all that you do to make sure that our kids are safe and have the opportunity possible to them.
It's our pleasure, and really it is. And it's been, you know, it's the one thing that keeps us going, just seeing everybody in the studio every day. And if you're still virtual, oh, that's so great too. You know, we're happy to be able to offer you whatever experience you need. And I'm grateful for my teachers and my staff that have honestly, and for lack of a better word, pivoted to this moment and made sure that the kids didn't have that much of a pause in their activities. And I know we're hoping this is something that they look forward to every week coming to dance class. So thank you so much. And we look forward to a great rest of our season going into our performance series. As always, you reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions for you. And we hope to see you guys in this in-studio filming and on stage very soon. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Robbie. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.